Good morning, beloveds. It is barely morning. It is 11:30. It's a holiday, and since it's a holiday, I let excuse me. I let myself sleep in a little bit, and then we went for an epic bike ride, and then we made waffles. So, yeah, that's where I am right now. I have to figure out what I did with my bookmark. Okay, but it is the 4th of July, or July 4th. And our title is going to be an interesting one. It is Turning Lead into Gold. The first quote is, "In the midst of winter, I found within me an invincible summer." And that is Albert Camus. And then the second quote is, "Nature demands change in order that we may advance. When the change comes, we should welcome it with a smile on the lip and a song in the heart." And that is Science of Mind 385. So, John Lennon once said, "Life is what happens to us when we are busy making other plans." For example, you may develop an unexpected illness. Your spouse may decide to leave. Your company may transfer you or lay you off. When faced with such uninvited experiences, you can see yourself as the victim or use the experience as a vehicle for personal transformation. The latter outlook is prevalent among the triumphant survivors, those individuals who not only make it through their ordeal, but emerge strengthened and renewed. The triumphant survivor says, "I would rather not have to deal with this challenge, but as long as I must, I will approach it as a learning experience." The triumphant survivor asks, "How can I emerge from my predicament a wiser and more loving person?" Such a question was asked by Viktor Frankl while he was a prisoner in a Nazi concentration camp. Frankl discovered that everything can be taken from a person except one thing: the ability to choose how he will respond to a situation. Or, as one survivor put it, "If you can't change the situation, change your attitude." By changing his attitude and finding meaning in his suffering, Frankl not only survived, but used his philosophy to help millions of people. Take a moment and look at your life. If you are experiencing a particular challenge, use it as an opportunity to grow and transform. What began as an apparent curse will emerge as a divine blessing. I thank the universe for providing me with opportunities to grow and transform. I see all of my challenges as disguised opportunities, and I know that I will use them to expand my consciousness. And that is DB, who at this particular moment, I don't remember who DB is, so let's go find out. Douglas Bloch. All right. Douglas Bloch, I applaud your idea, but here's where I will remind you that what is going on in your life will inform the way you read things. It will change the way you read things. It is the 4th of July. It is the birthday of America. And there's a whole lot of the population that's really unhappy right now. For a variety of reasons, mostly doing with our government, because our government, rather than moving forward, is moving backwards. And we're not happy about it. Rather than expanding our rights, they're taking them away. And that's not okay. So what Douglas is challenging us to do right now is to look at this as an opportunity. And it is an opportunity. It's like, okay, because they have shown their cards, they have shown who they are, they have shown what they want, and now it's up for the rest of us to stand up and go, you know what? No, this is not okay. And make our voices heard, and do it in, I hesitate to use the word appropriate ways. But I was reading an article about appropriate, because there's a whole lot of terms being thrown around right now that are culturally insensitive and inappropriate. And so we want to rethink those terms. It is an opportunity for us to make our values and our priorities plain. You know, do we care about the environment? Do we care about people of color? Do we care about women? Do we care about the freedom of religion and the freedom from religion. And I use that term the way I do because that's, you are free to practice your religion. You are not free to impose your religion on somebody else. So I have a number of friends that are atheists, and it's like I would never presume to push my religion onto them, because they are wonderful people just the way they are. So, they have a right to be free from religion. And so what are our values? And that's one of the things that I think right now, that is our opportunity to get very, very, very clear on what our values are. What is it that we care about? What is it that we respond to? And it is about changing our attitude. It is about changing our attitude because, one of the messages that I've been hearing is that we got complacent. And so now is the time to change our attitude, and to look at this as, do I wish I lived in a world where there were no challenges? Yes, but that's not the world we live in. And it comes from this little thing called free will. And we all have it. What we want, what we seek to do is to be free in who we are and impose bondage on no one else. That is the idea behind science of mind. Be free, be who you are, but do not impose bondage on anyone else for anything. That's what Ernest Holmes believed. That's what Ernest Holmes taught. That's one of the reasons why we are a small but mighty movement, because we're a movement of people who believe that everyone has the right to be free. Everyone has the right to be who they are. Now, we don't believe that anyone has the right to harm anybody else, but there we are. So, turning lead into gold. And Albert Camus, I read him in high school and college, and he's interesting. But his quote is, "In the midst of winter, I found within me an invincible summer." Now, I live in South Texas. I live in invincible summer. So maybe within me, I need to find that invincible winter. I need to find that coolness, because that's what we need right now. We need cool heads. We need cool, because when we get hot-headed and shout at each other, we're not doing anybody any good. So take the quote for how you need it, because it's already hot out there today. Nature demands change. Nature demands change in order that we may advance. When the change comes, we should welcome it with a smile on the lips and a song in the heart. And that's from the Science of Mind text, page 385. And that's one of those places where, it's like, yeah, we're getting change. It's just, we're not changing for the better. So we need to rethink some of these changes now. Progress. Life moves forward. Let's move with it. So, and I love the John Lennon quote, because I absolutely believe that. John Lennon once said that life is what happens when we're busy making other plans, because, oh my God, that is the truth. It's like I set out to do one thing and end up somewhere completely different. For example, you may develop an unexpected illness. Oh yeah, been there, done that. Your spouse may decide to leave. Your company may transfer or lay you off. I was a military brat. I know about moving around. I know what it's like to pack up your house, move literally all the way across the country, and have to start over again. And then, you're with children who you don't speak the same, that you don't even speak. There's a difference between my accent and the accent of where I ended up. And so we barely even spoke the same language. We both spoke English, but they all knew I was not from around there. It was interesting. When faced with such uninvited experiences, you can see yourself as a victim or use the experience as a vehicle of personal transformation. And that's one of the cool things about being a military brat, because my dad was in the Air Force. And he picked us up and moved us around a few times. And since then, I have picked myself up and moved myself around a few times. And one of the things is I've learned to make friends easily. I can talk to anybody. My husband teases me because I started a conversation halfway up a mountain with a complete and total stranger that I had never seen before and would never see again because, like I said, we were halfway up a mountain. That's one of those things where I can use that experience of moving around as a military brat for that personal transformation. The latter outlook is prevalent among triumphant survivors, those individuals who not only make it through their ordeal, but emerge strengthened and renewed. Do I wish we didn't have to go through the ordeals that we do? Yes. But what we can do is use our ordeals. We can learn from them, and we can use them to make changes in the world so that other people don't have to have the same ordeals. That is what I think a triumphant survivor. That's what we do. That is what we do. The triumphant survivor says, I would rather not have to deal with this challenge, but as long as I must, I will approach it as a learning experience. No matter how bad it gets, if I can learn something, and especially if I can take what I've learned and help make it so that other people don't have to go through it, then I've gotten the silver lining, or even, dare I say, the gold lining out of my experience. The triumphant survivor asks, how can I emerge from my predicament a wiser and more loving person? And that, I think, makes a triumphant survivor. They come through their experience more loving. When we go through experiences and we let them make us bitter, then we haven't survived. But when we go through our experiences, when we go through our ordeals, and we come out more compassionate, more loving. What's that? When we walk through the fire and we come out carrying buckets for the people who are still on fire, that's a triumphant survivor. Such a question was asked by Viktor Frankl while he was a prisoner in Nazi concentration camps. Frankl discovered that everything can be taken from a person except one thing: the ability to choose how he, we, they will respond to a situation. Or as one survivor put it, if you can't change the situation, change your attitude. By changing his attitude and finding meaning in his suffering, Frankl not only survived, but used his philosophy to help millions of people. That is a triumphant survivor, because he has come out. One of the students that I went through school with, Gunter, is from Germany, and so he quoted Viktor Frankl, because I'd never heard of Viktor Frankl. We won't talk about the American history education, but because of Gunter, I learned about Viktor Frankl, and he quotes him, and so I was like, all right, this is a pretty cool dude, and I bought one of his books. Take a moment and look at your life. If you are experiencing a particular challenge, which this country is, well, we're experiencing many challenges. Use it as an opportunity to grow and transform. What began as an apparent curse will emerge as a divine blessing. When we know who we are, we will do better. Okay, so then Douglas has the wonderful little treatment. I thank the universe for providing me with opportunities to grow and transform. I see all of my challenges as disguised opportunities, and I know that I will use them to expand my consciousness. Because some days that is all we can do. Use them to expand our consciousness. So there you heard the mission for today. Should we choose to accept it, is to expand our consciousness as we face our challenges, both individually and as community and as country and as world and as universe. Because, let's go all the way up. Let's do it with an expanded consciousness of who we are. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You will never look in the eyes of someone that God does not love. We are all, every living thing is a beloved child of God. So as we accept this mission and we go through our challenges, we have to remember that in the end, even when we don't agree, we all have this, we don't agree on how to get there. We all have the same goal. It's to live comfortably, safely, prosperously, lovingly. So what we got to do is find the middle ground in between because we all want the same thing. We all want to live. All right. Okay, so that's the mission today. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it looks like, doesn't matter. Today, mine looked like waffles. I do buy the, well, I don't buy it. My husband buys it, but we buy the Kodiak high protein pancake mix. And he won a mini waffle maker, and I had bought a mini waffle maker, and we just never gotten around to using it. So now we're using it. So we plugged them both in because they're, this big around. We made waffles, and we enjoyed the heck out of eating them. So that is a loving, kind, and compassionate thing. All right? Remember that. It's about self-care, and it is about enjoying life. No matter what is going on, you have the right to enjoy life. So please, make time to enjoy life. Engage all of your senses. And then we're creating a habit of loving, kind, compassionate, practicing on ourselves, because we deserve our own love, kindness, compassion. But the more we practice, it becomes a default habit. It becomes a default setting. So when we meet people that need a little extra, including people that we don't agree with, we have enough to share. All right? So there is that. And I'm going to encourage you, as I always do something to engage your mind and your body. Today, I had an epic bike ride. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Drink plenty of water. Please drink plenty of water. It's hot out there. And I did. I drank a whole lot of water. We finished the water bottle on the ride today, which was my first time, but it's hot. Make sure you get early in your day, bright light, reset those hormones, science, and open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us. Okay? It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It means that you can create it in any place that you are, no matter what is going on. So take Emma's advice, Emma Curtis Hopkins, look for the good and praise it. And because right now things might be a little challenging, start with the little bitty goods, the small goods, like waffles. And build up to the big ones. Build up to the big ones. All right, beloveds. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, an enchanting day, a magical day, an American birthday, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. As I have said before and will say again, you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. All right. So catch us on the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I am the running Rev Ryan. Just in case you wonder, these talks, I don't ever delete them off of the page, but I do archive them on the Running Rev Ryan page. So if you ever want to see what I was saying on a particular day, you can go look that up on the Running Rev. I sort them into playlists by month and year. So, and then if you want to know what Creative Life is up to, email info@creativelife.org. Get on that constant contact. The hot links are good. Take you right where you want to know. And I think that's what I know. So Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you today. It is the 4th of July. Who knows? But he'll get it done today. And I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow, not 11, because I do go back to work tomorrow. So, y'all take care of yourselves. Know that you're loved always. And I will see you next time.